I did have to kind of evaluate, and I think the biggest thing for me is that I was evaluating then as a broker who was 5 years in versus the first time. And my questions were different. And I knew the biggest thing was just what services are provided to me and what services are valuable to me. Because I know my own business self is not going to, I'm not a do-it-yourselfer on everything. I'm happy to pay other people to do stuff. But how much am I willing to pay? And if I'm going to pay, I want to make sure I'm getting what I need. And so there is a spectrum of brokerages, of pay and services and stuff. And so for me, Windermere was the fit of there's people, which is to me like an office environment is very important. Education is very important. And then help with marketing and my flyers and how do I figure out the MLS. So all those little things, the list is long, but here's the right balance for me of services provided and money paid for those services. So it worked. The marketing stuff that you guys Windermere does, it's not just here's houses, something that you could pick out across the industry. And there's companies that provide those sorts of tools. It tends to be more Whidbey focused, events, homes, community. So all of your brokers can use that sort of stuff, but it's still in formats that I can individualize it. I can say it the way I want to, or delete the event that I don't care about, or I don't think my clients are going to care about. So it makes sense as a business model for you, and it makes sense as a business model for me. And I like that. Beautiful. And that you were building a small business. And so if you don't have the self-discipline, which is where I struggle, to make yourself do all the things, all the financials, all the marketing, all the organizational, all the assistant stuff, Windermere helps with some of that, but essentially you are running a small business. So that was the shocker for me, and what I wish I can communicate to everybody else who's thinking about it. And it's a great industry. There's a lot of pros, but there's a lot to it. I guess one of the things that I wish someone had told me is so much of real estate when you're getting into it is either talking about money or transactions, which are fair. But I feel like lately, no one ever told me that I would now be a marketer. Like that you're not just marketing the home. That's important for your clients, but you're marketing you all the time. When you realize that all the decisions essentially rest with you, and if you don't do, you don't make money. So that's a hard reality to come to. There's no phoning it in where you can kind of get by and your employer is still going to pay you anyway. I think the two biggest things are, one, just what environment do you need? And for me, I get motivated when other people are doing real estate. They're talking real estate, they're talking about the septic issue they had, that motivates me to go and do. So that's huge for me. And then just, I think, education, and it's not just education about transactions, it's also education about marketing and hiring a coordinator or something like that. So it has to be kind of all-encompassing, just like our jobs are all-encompassing. Because we're all independent contractors, I would say we have this wave of, what is it like? There's a lot of mornings are very quiet, and a lot of Friday afternoons are very quiet. Our busiest day is Tuesdays, and everybody's in. I would say absolutely everybody is very helpful. I know it sounds like such a candid answer, but it really is. I can lean over somebody's desk or pop my head in and I can ask a question. Nobody thinks I'm dumb. Nobody thinks I'm a terrible agent. You just have a question and you talk shop. So that's good. I would say everybody here, they want to be here. They want to be doing real estate. So that's nice. We don't really have very many I just do the ones that come along agents, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we tend to be a little bit more, we are doing real estate and this is our big gig. So that's nice for me because it's my big gig too. Yeah. Actually, I struggle with this question because I sometimes feel the immense joy of the freedom. I just had a 2.5-hour lunch, and I'm appreciating that and saying, I love my job. But just on last Friday night, I get this text kind of out of the blue from a client that I haven't talked. Hey, we're going to be on the island this weekend. Here's a list of 7 properties that we would like to see tomorrow. And I have to battle with my own business boundaries. I did kind of have plans for Saturday morning, but I want to serve my clients. I want to make money. Let the battle ensue. And again, nobody ever prepared for me for that battle because I had never worked in industry like this. I had hours, and even school was predicted hours. Or if I signed up to help at the theater, I know what to expect. Here, you don't always. There's definitely times of freedom, but there are other times where you have to work around their schedule because they are your clients. So there's pros and cons. That's the time commitment. And I do find on average, I'm working anywhere 30 to 60 hours a week, just kind of depending on what clients I have. And that's me and my business. I am able to take vacations. And again, sometimes the battle ensues of how do I serve my clients well? We have a very friendly office. Another agent here, we realized that we're kind of on the same vibe. So we now cover each other's vacations, and we are both on the same vibe of when I go on vacation, I don't want to think about it. So we cover each other that fully, and we inform our clients and we make a plan. There's other agents who are like, I don't mind just doing stuff on the beach with my computer. That's great, that's not me. So yes, you are. You do have to create some boundaries, but you can take vacations, by gummit. I think a boundary for me is, where do I need to build my line in the sand? Not necessarily wall, but my line that says, if I do something for a client or for a friend, that I can still do it out of complete joy. Because if my boundary is too far one direction or another, I'm either taking on stuff that's really not my responsibility and then I can't do it joyfully and I'm annoyed. And if I set it too close and I'm too guarded with my time, then I'm not actually being a part of people's lives and being helpful. So it's a dance, but that's when can I do stuff with joy? That's my definition of a boundary. It is an internal battle, and sometimes it's an internal battle because of my own insecurities. I can admit that I want people to like me. And this is an industry that it's really helpful if people like you. So I want the 5-star review. I want to be helpful. I want them to recommend me to their friends, and yet I want to have a life, and I want to be realistic about realtors. That's not our job. So that's why it's kind of an eternal battle for me. And I think the farther I'm in, the easier, but it always seems that there's situations cropping up. So it's kind of an eternal battle. Yeah. I think what I see occasionally, thankfully we live in a very good area where there's lots of really competent real estate agents, but especially when you're out amongst the internet and there's all this, get into it because it's so great and you'll have all the freedom and I'm just like, but what are you good at your job? Can you focus on the client needs, not yours? And it is hard because you have needs too, but when you're getting into this industry, can you take some hard hits for your clients? And can you learn new things? Even though it's kind of tiring and exhausting.
Totally.
Yeah. I do appreciate the very open communication with our designated brokers. And what I mean by that is that, if we come to them with an issue, they are willing to ask us as agents, me, Amy, as an agent, a tough question of okay, I know you're frustrated this way, but is that truly what's in the best interest of your client? And what does your client actually want? Maybe they want something unreasonable, but let's talk through that and let's figure out how to solve that gets them as close as they can. So it's good, and it's never judgmental. It's never, how dare you be thinking about yourself? But it is a good pullback of what about the client? What about the client? So it's good. I don't have any regrets, but I don't say that, all flighty. It has been a hard road. And I especially remember probably about 2 years ago going, I can get out. I'm going to get out, but I need to give myself permission that if I did, I felt okay about it. And I decided to stay, and I'm really glad I did, because I don't know that I would have had regret if I had left, but I know that staying in, I have forced myself to grow. And that's the thing with hard things, they cause you to grow. I hate that. Surely we could learn the lessons another way, but so I don't know that I would have had regret over changing careers. And I still think that, not every career is a whole lifetime career, but for now, this is the really right thing for me, because I do need to grow into a better businesswoman. And I'm getting better at running a business, not just, I've done this transaction for my clients. And that's what I'm so proud of myself. And so that pride makes no regrets. So thankfully, no regrets for me.